Introducing Lauren Watkins. Literally.
Yeah, good one.
Thank you.
No pun intended.
That's the name of your debut album on Big Loud.
Yes.
I never do that formal an introduction, but it's too easy.
I kind of like it.
I know, it's cool, right?
No, it is. I did that so that people could have something to say.
That's good.
Little intro.
Because I'm usually at a loss of something to say, as you can tell already, Lauren.
Yeah, we have nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Lauren and I have already figured, first of all, future superstar.
Oh, thank you.
This is really...
God, did you hear that? Fingers crossed.
And God is what brought us together.
Actually, yes.
Or at least it's the Catholic God. This is very funny. So your song, Shirley Temple, which is honestly such a great song.
Thank you.
And I'm not just saying that. I organically came across it. I think when it speaks to a 23-year-old, my daughter,
Yeah.
and a 32-year-old like me. Does it math work?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We make the
enabler.
rules here.
Yeah, it's my podcast.
It's your podcast.
We make the rules. And I think that's a sign of really a universal message, right?
Yeah.
So
I hope so. Because when I was writing that, the girls I wrote it with, we're all at different ages too. It was me, Nicole Gallion, and Meg McCree. And Meg McCree and I are around the same age.
Nicole Gallion, never heard of her.
Gallion, yeah, name drop. But we were all like, it was all so universal to the three of us. And so we were like, okay, that this must mean a lot more people can
And
relate.
immediately catchy Shirley Temple, sweet and simple.
Thank
and
you.
you're drinking it up.
And
I'm a pistol, accidentally saying too much, like my life story.
I know,
Of
yeah,
course,
mine too.
I raised a daughter like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I send it
We're
to
the
her.
dirty Shirleys. We're not the
dirty-
Shirley Temples.
So dirty. So I send it to my daughter.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I say,
you.
you have to hear this song. It's great. And I literally don't know who you are. But I obviously...
What?
I'm like, what? But obviously, because of what I do, I'm always listening to new music.
Right.
And I say, you're going to love this song.
Oh.
I send it to her. She is just a new country fan. And despite...
Just roping them in.
Yeah, so she texts me back and says, oh my God, she was in the class ahead of me at St. Cecilia.
That's so awesome.
And I'm dead.
I had no idea you were her mom either. Like when I walked in here today, I had no idea.
I know I didn't want to name drop.
No, I'm I'm so glad you told me.
It's like, do you want to name drop the Dominicans?
Is that allowed?
Is that cool or not cool?
That's allowed. No, I
in
love
some
that.
circles it's very cool.
Yeah.
I don't, and so I said we're not going to talk about this until we fire up the mics.
What is it?
But I do. I feel like I've been talking about Catholics so much on the podcast.
We have.
I'm working through some stuff, Lauren.
It's okay.
But I do. We did touch on just for a second because I'm like, let's wait. There is something. There is a bond with Catholic school.
Yeah.
Women who've gone to all girls.
To an all girls Catholic school. Not even Catholic, but just an all girls school.
All
even
girls.
in general.
Yeah. There is a.
Like,
It's
a very special, specific bond.
Talk to me about it.
I mean, I think it's funny, like, the older I get, like, I meet people in so many different places in my life that also went to an all-girls school, and it's so funny. I feel like we immediately kind of click, because it's just something people don't understand. Like, it's a certain lifestyle that there's just niche things that come with it that people don't understand.
I think
good and bad.
I think there's good and bad, but I also think there's a confidence.
Yes, that's the first thing I always say, too. I'm really, really thankful for the confidence it gave me. Like, you can ask, I've said this since the day I graduated, like, you don't even realize it, I don't think, till you're out in the, quote, real world, which for me, the real world was next Ole Miss, so that's really not the real world either. But that was the next thing for me. And, like, when I got there, it was, like, sort of culture shock, because I had never been, I mean, like, I went to co-ed school when I was like in elementary school, but that's just, I mean, college is a whole different world. And I was so like immediately kind of culture shock because I was in class with boys again, and people were like coming from all these different experiences that I like didn't know. And it was just like, I felt this confidence that I was like, I never really gave a shit when I was in an all-girl school, because it was just like, you just kind of are bred to not care.
Yeah.
And then when I got out, like, that doesn't just leave you, you know, like, I think that sticks around. And for me, it did. Like, I was just, I don't know what it is about going to school with all girls. It's like you just kind of, I don't know, people just don't give a fuck. Like we would show up
even too
on like a micro level of like not really caring about wearing makeup to school, and like there's certain drama eliminated when boys are out of the equation, and like I don't know, but then I think that carries to a bigger level too of like in life. It's just not.
I was saying this to somebody recently. I do believe it's even, there really was nothing I didn't think I could do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
Which, is mildly delusional as well.
Yeah.
But I think you need that, especially women need that to kind of be like, yeah, I really can do anything.
Yeah. And I think...
And you don't take men into that. I mean,
I mean, they were around. They were across the street at NBA, the all-boys school.
That's when we rolled our skirts up.
But like, yeah, exactly. But I remember it would be so funny. Like we could have like guests come to lunch, and a girl's boyfriend would come, and it would get around the school. Like, there's a boy in the cafeteria. There's a boy.
And you do behave differently.
You do. No, you do. And it's funny because people always ask me like, oh my gosh, you went to an all-girls school. Like, was it so much drama? And like, it was, but it wasn't like more drama than a co-ed school. I'm like, I think there was less because boys were out.
It's different drama. And in some ways, I view women in a way like I am a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Like never do I think in some ways I always think there's not a woman I couldn't handle. Like in some ways I think the best of women.
Yeah. Well, and it teaches you kind of how to get along with people too.
Right.
Especially because my school was small. Like it was really, I mean, to me it was small. To other people it's probably
small.
Not. But it was like a class of like 70 girls, which, I mean, that's like a sorority, you know? And so there's always going to be people that you don't like, but you got to be there with them all the time. And you just kind of learn how to tolerate and like find things that you do have in common with people.
That's it. I mean, mine was too sweeping on think the best of. You just learn Right. You just learn to manage. And I'm not freaked out like some women are and like thinking, well, they're not these sweeping statements of I'm done with them. No, you have to learn to get along in a way that you don't. I don't like it when women in particular say sweeping bad statements about women.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think we do have to.
You have
to. Each other.
I mean, you won't get anywhere in life if you just have a chip on your shoulder
about women, particularly.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody, you're right.
Anything, but yeah, that too. I mean, because we get to be around women all the time, and like, where would we would get nowhere if we just had a chip on our shoulder and we're negative about people. And I think, but don't get me wrong, I can be terrible about. I can be so negative. I'm making myself sound like, but I mean, it's just something to work on. It's something we all have to work on.
That's right.
I think.
And speaking of women, then you sign. You out the gate. You sign with Nicole Gallion, who is like just a legend.
The best. She's a legend.
Talk about that song.
Which one? Wait, our song or her song?
No, your song's amazing. Shirley Temple. Ole Miss. Ole Miss is another one that I love.
Thank you.
Grain of Salt. I love
Grain
of Salt.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
With No Makeup. I love them.
Thank you.
There's a lot to cover here, but we'll start with Nicole since we're on the theme of women.
Yeah.
And Songs and Daughters, signing with that.
Yeah, now I'm on an all-female label. I surround myself. And I grew up with all sisters, so I'm like...
Same.
Men are a real mystery to me.
But I am jumping to conclusions, but it seems like you have a full-time boyfriend.
I do. I do. He's great. Him and my dad are the only ones that I'm like, oh, okay, I get y'all. That's like tip of the iceberg.
That's like courageous, too, to start out and have a guy along for the ride.
I know, yeah. But then I think there's also something to like stability.
Yes.
There's no stability in this career. Like nothing's predictable, but he's very steady and predictable.
What's he do?
He's a songwriter.
He is?
Yeah, maybe that's a paradox for me to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that's good too, because it's like there's so many people have so many absolutes about dating. They're like, I will never date someone who's also in the music industry, or I will never date someone who's not in the music industry. And I just don't I feel like anytime I've said something like that, I do the opposite. So I just don't.
Yeah. You know what I just listened to on, this is going to be one of my questions for you later, but a book that changed your life as an adult. And I just listened to on tape The Alchemist.
Oh,
have you ever?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's about.
I'm not a big reader. Something about me. I'm trying to get into it.
You should listen to it while you're.
My
on the
mom
road.
listens to books too. She always tells me to do that.
It's great while I was driving, but it's about pursuing your personal legend.
Oh,
and this shepherd meets the love of his life.
Oh my gosh!
But the alchemist says, because he wants to not pursue his personal legend because he's met his love.
Oh wow!
And the alchemist. I'm paraphrasing for anybody who's read the book, so if I get it wrong. Again, it's my podcast.
Yeah, whatever. Save it.
The alchemist essentially says, she's your love. Mm-hmm. It will work out.
Yes.
But you must not stop pursuing your personal legend.
Yeah. Because she will work out no matter what.
Right.
Is going to happen in your life. Because if that's really your person, then it's just going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to read that.
Listen to it.
This job, it's good for doing this job. Like, it's a lot. You can't, like, you have to have, like, sort of tunnel vision in a way, you know? But all that to say, like, I think the way to still be yourself when you're at the top is to, like, do what you want. Like, like date somebody if you want to date somebody, and like keep in touch with your old friends and keep your life as normal as you can. Obviously, I'm saying that not knowing anything because I'm at the bottom, but I want to think that, you know.
It's interesting too. There's so much pressure to have all these absolutes, and to hear you say job, is there any pressure to not use that word? Like to mix because at the end of the day, it still is. My dad used to say, even for me, because also being in a public kind of job, public-facing job, he'd say to me, remember, it's not who you are, it's what you do.
Oh, yeah. No, that's huge.
But you do also, so you don't want to be validated too much
it's hard,
by what you do, especially something as personal as writing songs and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
But like, as you come up, are you getting good advice from people like Nicole, who you're touring with, like Hardy?
Yeah.
No big deal.
Well, it is like, it's a really, really hard balance, I will say. And I'm like I'm at the very beginning of all this. So I am like learning new things every day. I'm learning things I thought were true are completely wrong and the other way around. Like it is a really hard balance, and you just don't know until you're doing it, you know? And like, it's hard when your whole, like your job is your life, like everything. It's not just me singing on stage for 30 minutes. It's also like the brand we're building and like everything I do in between shows, like preparing, like it's my whole life. And so it is really hard sometimes to kind of like disassociate and realize like there's artist me, but then there's also like just regular me that doesn't want to think about any of that sometimes. And I get really good advice from people like Nicole, and Hardy's given me good advice too before, like just because they're older than me and they've done it. They've been doing this for longer. And it's cool to learn from people like that. Nicole is huge because her and I are really, really close. And she's one of those people that like, I think this is really important. Like I can just go to her and cry and be like, this is going on. I need to talk to somebody about it. And she's really, really helpful. She kind of plays like mentor role for me over anything else, which I think is really, really special. But we just talk about things, and like that's the only way you can get through it is if you're willing to be open and say like, this is really hard sometimes.
And find the right people to unpack it with, because you tend to, that's a big lesson too, to figure out who can I be vulnerable with.
Yeah, and that's hard for me because I'm like sort of an open book.
Yep.
Like I am just like, I will open up to anybody, and I've kind of had to learn like, okay, you can't. Yeah. You got to learn who you can trust.
Let me know when you figure that out.
I haven't.
I'm still doing it.
I know. Luckily, Nicole is one of those people for me. I can trust her.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is there a book? Like you said, you didn't read much.
No, I'm like trying to get into reading though, because being on the road, you need something to do. Like there's more downtime than I would have thought. I mean, obviously it's like everything is go, 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 but you spend 8 hours in a van and you're like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and look at my phone.
You're still in a van? You're not in a bus?
Oh, no, I'm still in a van.
With those guys. I'm sorry.
You need to be a fly on the wall in my van rides with my band.
I kind of want to be. Can I go on the tour with you?
Yeah, you can come tomorrow.
You're going to
we're going to play a festival in Ohio tomorrow called Voices of America. And then we go straight from there to play Tidal Wave in Atlantic City.
Oh, my God.
I'm so excited. I know we need to
my birthday week. Is that the 18th?
Don't ask me what day it is. I don't know.
I saw it on your Instagram.
It's this weekend. It's on. I think we played Tidal Wave on Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, I would love to do that. I can't.
Oh, why?
I would love to.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. I've never been to Jersey, but I'm really excited.
Oh,
I know we need to talk
Jersey.
You need to give me some recs on where to go. But we did do Watershed this past weekend.
That's what I think that was.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
What is now? This is your first. You've been out on the road this summer. The Introducing Lauren Watkins came out in the spring. Yes. Like, what's been the coolest surprise place you've been?
Like, what do you mean by surprise? What surprised me?
Yeah, like what town have you been to that you were like, okay.
Okay, I feel like I have a couple answers for this.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, Watershed this past weekend was crazy. Like I really haven't been anywhere. Like I have not been that many places outside of the Southeast.
She grew up in Nashville.
I grew up in Nashville, yeah.
And people always joke, I don't find this to be true. Tourists say this, but they're like, "Oh, you're the one person from Nashville."
Yeah.
Obviously,
there's a lot more of us than you would think, but probably in the grand scheme of things, like it's rare.
And I think a lot of artists.
Yeah. No, there definitely are a good handful. We got to stick together. Yeah. I got to find those people. Yeah. But I just haven't really been anywhere that exciting.
The nuns.
Do what? They what? Yeah, they kept me cooped up.
Let her out of here.
My parents are they're super beach people. Anytime we would get a vacation, we're going to the beach. Yeah. And I'm very thankful for that, obviously. But we just I mean, Washington State, that's the farthest from home I've ever been, which is where Watershed was. Yeah. And it was in this little mountain town outside of Seattle. And my band was all making fun of me because we landed in Seattle and had to get a rental car and drive 2 hours to get to our hotel. And I was driving and I was looking out the window
Chevy Caprice.
It was it was a RAV4.
Of course.
Toyota. Yeah. Red. Yeah. It was red. Our stuff could barely fit in there. But they were laughing at me because I kept going, whoa, wow, whoa. But I'm imagine you've never seen mountains. The only mountains I've seen are East Tennessee or North Carolina, which are beautiful, but it's just different. It doesn't look, they're not the same. Right. And so I was oh my gosh, this is crazy.
You're tapping into your Kristen Stewart Twilight.
Yeah, I was. Somebody was watching Twilight on the plane. I was I see you.
Yeah, but I'm so Edward. I'm so Team Edward.
They were trying to get in the mood.
That's right.
But no, it was so cool. And then the festival itself is literally in the middle of this canyon, and so that was really cool to me. But then this is probably more surprise. Wisconsin. I'd never really been up to Wisconsin. Well, I don't know what I was really expecting. I think I just didn't really think about it. And we played a couple festivals up there. And
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's really pretty farmland, which I like that. I love to drive, and we were just driving through cornfields and lots of cute houses and barns with American flags on them, and I love that kind of thing. And I think I just didn't expect that.
But I don't know why. Think you're alone. I felt that about through radio. I never would have known how cool Michigan was.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I went to Detroit.
Yeah.
Spent some time in even Detroit. Now I understand Detroit. You now as an artist will understand America.
Yes.
All of America in a way most people never get to understand it.
It's so true.
It's kind of cool.
It is really cool. And to that point, I feel as songwriters, we are always talking about what people are wanting to hear. Because we'll get Nashville is such a bubble. And when you're here writing for a long time and not going anywhere else, it's so easy to be what do people at the listening room want to hear? Or what do people on Music Row want to hear? But it's that's not all that we're singing to. We're singing to America as a whole and the world. And right now, I get to see parts of America that I've never seen before. And that's so important to me to when I'm on stage, pay attention to the crowd and see what they're reacting to, what they're not reacting to. And it gets me inspired to go back and then write and be okay, this is what these are the people that I'm singing to. And don't get me wrong, I am the first one to want to write like a super weird artsy song, and I'm always going to do that. But it just reminds you, like, these are the people that are caring about this and that want these songs. So like I need to be aware of that.
This is what makes me a little crazy about the industry. I live downtown. I live on Broadway.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes from living here. By the way, the subtitle of my podcast is The Nashville Truth.
Yeah.
Just speaking, sharing my truth, having artists share their truth about this town. And this does drive me a little crazy about this town. Mm-hmm. The industry does get a little snobby about Broadway.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to go down to Broadway. It's only tourists. Mm-hmm. And especially, not necessarily artists, but for sure music industry executives. Mm-hmm. And I want to say, after living down there, shame on you. Because you should be down there with the people that are buying your music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true.
I'm down there with them.
Yeah.
And they are, to your point, your audience.
Yeah.
These are the people that are buying.
Those are the consumers right there. Yeah.
You should be seeing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go down there every weekend.
Yeah. No, my band, like the guys in my band, they play on Broadway all the time. Like when we're in town, like that's what they do. They play on Broadway. And I think it's so good for them to like they just see it all, and they're not like,
I see it all.
I think it's so great to not be above that. Like we're all, and also like, I'm from Nashville, and when I was growing up, like Nashville wasn't really like the bachelorette scene that it is now. Mm-hmm. And so Broadway was like what we all were like looking forward to. Like that's when we're 21, that's where we're going. And like it was all honky tonks and country music, and it's a little different now, but it's like I always try to remember that like this is where it all started. Like we need to, and I think you're right. I love that. I love that you live there and you're out there in the streets. You are just living it up.
In the street floor.
You're partying on Broadway every night.
I actually
haven't been to Broadway in a while.
Oh, you need to get out
there. I know.
Grace will come in town. She said, "Don't tell her I'm a Lauren head now." Is that what your fans are called?
I don't know.
Well, she called herself that. She's like, "Don't
ask one of them."
Yeah. Well, there you go. She could be the president of the Lauren head.
I like that. It kind of sounds like a deadhead or something.
You do have, I will say, free spirit, low-key hippie vibe.
Thank you. I'm glad I have you fooled. No, it's funny because I get that a lot. And I am like, I'm pretty like free-spirited, but I'm also like in my head all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're...
Like I come off as a free spirit, but I'm, deep down, I'm like...
Don't go see Oppenheimer.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't watch movies either. I have a short attention span.
I do too.
Don't ask me if I've seen any movies lately. I haven't.
Go see the Barbie movie.
I know. Maybe my attention span could handle that.
You could handle that.
But I've heard it's actually really deep though. I like that.
Well, speaking of great women, Greta Gerwig wrote it.
Yeah.
You see Lady Bird? It's such we need to go on a cultural binge.
I know.
Well, you're still tapping into something great with your music.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I was going to ask you about so you're just living your life out on the road.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hardy real quick.
Okay.
Because I am a huge fan of Hardy.
Same.
Yeah, and I have watched, much like you, interviewed him when he was at your stage.
Yes.
And when he wrote "I Don't Know About You,"
mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What does the wrist?" He's amazing.
I know.
And did he write Sleep Help? Was he a co-writer on Sleeping with No Makeup?
No, Hardy and I haven't written together.
You haven't?
No. Ernest and I wrote Anybody But You together. You may be thinking of that.
Yes.
No, I would love to write with Hardy though.
I feel like you got, well, first of all, you're with Big Loud.
Yes.
Which for Nashville Truth Insider, I think people are know the insides. Now, I think fans know a lot more about the inside scene in Nashville, but that is That is so you. That tracks.
Thank you.
You belong at that label.
I hope so.
That's a perfect
It's an honor
label.
to belong there.
Right. You're in with that crowd, which I think is just that tracks. That's on brand.
It was like, I mean, that was my dream. That was my dream label to work with. And Nicole was the first one that reached out with me because she has Songs and Daughters, which is her JV with Big Loud. And she was the first one to reach out. And I was like in college still, had just kind of figured out like music was really where I wanted to go. Because I grew up doing music and I kind of took a break from it when I went to college. Like I just thought maybe it's not a career for me. Like I'm
really?
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about this all day, but
do it.
I mean,
what was the moment you're like, was that kind of guilt?
It was a lot of moment. Yeah, a lot.
Just your parents? Was it like I should?
So I have.
I kind of love that you're being, again, truthful.
An open book.
Because a lot of people say, oh, I never veered. And that could be their truth. I'm not doubting it. But I love that you had that.
Yeah, no, I definitely strayed for a while. I have 3 sisters, and my older sister is also in music. She's a songwriter. Caroline Watkins, shout out. Love her. And she and I started singing together like when we were little. And
I love that. I tried to get my sisters, the twins, to sing with me, and they never would do it.
No, you could have sang with us.
I love that.
Well, it was really fun. Like that was just.
Could I play the tambourine in the background?
Yeah.
Aunt Kelly.
I actually did used to play. I would bring a tambourine to our shows before I could play guitar because I was like, I need something to do with my hands. Like I'm so awkward. But we started singing really young. She picked up guitar, started writing songs, and then we would just like sing anywhere people would listen. Like we would sing at like school talent shows or like family barbecues or stuff like that. And then we got a little older and we started playing real gigs, like real gigs, like in bars in Nashville. She's oldest, yeah.
How much
She's
older?
25.
Okay.
And I'm about to be 24. So we're like 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started playing around town and she started writing songs. So she would get us like sort of a songwriting gig, like at Puckett's. Puckett's is one of my favorites. Like such a, I know, so good. We used to play all those locations and like she would get to play like the featured songwriter Sunday or something. And she would bring me up with her. So they're really like her gigs, but she was just letting me tag along and sing harmony for her or whatever. And so we did that for forever. And it just kind of became our thing. And she was like going full-fledged, like right out the gate. That she knew that was going to be her career. She was one of those people. Like she never wavered. That was it for her. And I was just kind of like, I don't know if that scared me or if I just thought like, I didn't know. I don't know. I think I was just young and I knew that if I was going to do it for career, I'd have to do it on my own. Like I knew I wanted to be a solo artist. And she was kind of starting to go the songwriting route anyway, not do the artist thing. So I was just like, maybe I'm just like I'm not ready to decide my career yet. I'm 16. So like, I'm just going to like go to Ole Miss. And so I did that. And I don't know why, but I thought I had to like pick one or the other. Like I thought I can either go to college and never look back, move away.
Did she go to college?
She went to Belmont. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Nashville.
Right.
Like she never left Nashville. Right. And I thought you had to do it that way or not at all. I don't know why. I guess it was just, that was the main like journey that I saw. I see that
as far as family dynamics, as a mother, as a, probably you thought, well, that role is taken.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Me and Nicole talk about that a lot too. She loves to talk about that because it's so real. Like
it is.
Birth order and like
1,000%. Very real. Because I have 3 kids.
Oh my God. Yeah. Then you get it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I guess I just saw that as like, okay, this is just, I'm doing this and she's doing this. And so I went to college and kind of put music on the back burner for a while. Like I can never not be singing or doing music, but I wasn't like pursuing it. I wasn't playing gigs, marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, which I actually liked that.
That's probably
it was like marketing and journalism, like in the school of journalism. Okay. So I got to write a lot and I like that. But I always had this like pull at me. Like it was every time someone would ask me like, what are you going to do with your life? Or what are you going to do after college? Like,
which is the most irritating question.
So annoying. No, actually it's so annoying. I try to not ask people that, but then sometimes I'm really curious. I just want to know. But I would always feel this almost like guilt kind of. But guilt is such a negative word. It wasn't guilt. It was just kind of like a pull. Like I just felt like I'm not answering this question
like you're not pursuing your personal legend.
Exactly. Like I thought, I'm not doing like, and I was scared to admit that because I think it just scared me. Like it scared me to do it on my own. It scared me to make such a like commitment to a thing that you're going to do, because once you say, I mean, it's hard to go back on. Yeah.
You've got to listen.
I know. I need to. I'm dying. I'm going to get it. I'm dying to listen to it. But, and so anyway, I'm like going on and on about this, but I just kind of kept having all these moments where it was like, I think it was like signs from God, like, hey, you need to like, and so I guess the biggest moment was like, my sister was playing a lot of shows at this time. She was on the road a lot. So she came to Oxford where Ole Miss is and played a show there. And like all my college friends came and she brought me up for a couple songs. And like, I just remember being on stage and then like right after I got off stage, it was like a relief. Like I just forgot how much fun this was. And like, I don't know why I like have turned my back on it for all this time. Not turned my back on it, but just not pursued it heavily. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I couldn't shake that feeling. I was like on a high the rest of the week because I just felt like I can't not keep doing this. And then I was sitting in my little retail job that I worked, this really cute little boutique. Carrie Bailey was my old boss. Shout out, Carrie. Love her.
Dominican Nun, Caroline Watkins.
Carrie Bailey. Yeah, so many shout outs. But anyway.
Nicole Gallion.
Yeah.
Hardy.
We were really out
Ernest. We'll do it at the end. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like it. What was I saying? Oh, so I'm in the store that I was working at. It was called Elliott Lane. It was Elliott like a kid's. It was like we need to like tag all these people.
So you're at Elliott Lane.
So I'm at Elliott Lane. I'm working and I'm like in the back room. And I just remember thinking, like I said, I'm in my head all the time. And I was just thinking like, what am I going to do? Am I going to make this decision? Am I going to like tell everyone I'm doing music now? I'm going to have to move home after college. Like I'm moving back to Nashville, I guess. And I was just going back and forth. And I just like felt this voice in my head saying like, if you had no fear, what would you do? Like, what would you be doing if you didn't have any fear? And it was immediately music. And I was like, okay, so I'm just running from this because I'm scared of doing it alone. And that's the stupidest thing ever. So then from that day on, I never looked back. Called my parents. I was like, so change of heart. I'm actually going to do music. And I didn't because everyone's always like, oh, so did you leave school? And no, I didn't leave school because like I loved college. I loved Ole Miss. I was like having the time of my life there. I didn't want to cut that short at all. So my plan was like, all right, I'm just going to like pursue it as much as I can here. I started writing all the time alone because there was no one really to write with at Ole Miss. I started playing shows again. I got to know this like little cover band that would play at one of the bars there.
What was the name of it?
Roosters. Shout out Roosters.
Shout out Roosters. I need to be jotting these down.
I know.
I love a good cover band name.
Well, that wasn't the name of their band. That was the name of the bar.
Oh.
I don't know the name of the, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't know if they had a name.
Cover band.
So I got to know cover band and they would like let me get up and sing with them when I was out. Like
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah.
Cock-a-doodle do-overs.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. I like that. That's good.
What's your go-to cover band song? What's your go-to cover?
I mean, I love
do covers in your.
Yeah, I do.
What do you do?
Oh yeah. I love "Soak Up the Sun" by Sheryl Crow. I love to sing that. I'm a huge Sheryl.
Her here?
No, I'm dying to meet her. Yeah, I know.
I can't believe
I think about it every day.
Lives with her kids. I can't believe you haven't run across her.
I'm dying to meet her. I would love to like just pick her brain for hours.
You have such a her vibe.
Stop it.
I kind of do. I'm not lying. I wouldn't say that for no reason.
Do you think she would be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, she'd be like.
No, I'm like a huge fan. I love her. My mom got me into Sheryl Crow. My mom like always loved Sheryl Crow. Like I just remember like "Soak Up the Sun" and "First Cut Is the Deepest." Like her always playing those songs, and then my little sister Anna. She's a huge.
You're a middle.
Yeah, I'm a middle. Yeah. Does it make sense?
It all makes sense now.
Oh my God. She got me like back into Sheryl Crow like when we were in college because she loves her too. And I remember being at the beach and like her playing all these Sheryl Crow songs, and I was like, "What the heck? Why have I like forgotten?
Great
like,
beach music.
This is the best music ever." And now I'm like total like huge fan.
Nicole Gallion, shout out. Why can't she hook you up?
I don't know. Let's ask her.
She should know her.
Oh yeah,
I feel like she knows.
She knows everybody. I'll ask her.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I?
You should. That's your goal. That's your goal duet person.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. That's when you do a CMT Crossroads.
She's the girl.
She's your girl.
She's my girl.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that.
Manifest
That's a good crossroads too, because I don't know, because we're different genres. Like,
right.
Yeah. What are other cover songs? I love Miranda Lambert. I love to sing White Liar.
Yeah.
People go crazy over that one. Yeah, I grew up singing cover songs, because I didn't.
Well, it makes sense now. The question I didn't know about your sister when I was learning about you. So that makes sense. So you've always kind of been, but your parents don't sound like they were musical.
No, they're not. No.
Do you know the Cole sisters, Millie and Eleanor?
Yeah. How do you know them?
St. Cecilia.
Oh my gosh. Wait, we probably know a lot of the same
we do.
I love the Coles.
We love the Coles.
Me and my mom were just talking about Eleanor this morning because she's killing it.
She's killing it.
We always knew she would, though.
She's going to love this.
She just had the hustle in her from a young age.
Yeah. She seems like a...
Eleanor, we talked about you on our walk this morning.
Love this. No,
we're so proud of you.
Yeah, she's killing it. She's in the music biz, and her sister, Millie.
I love Millie.
Has a great voice, too.
Yeah, she does.
Well, this is really St. Cecilia hour. You're welcome.
I know.
Recruiters, Dominicans.
Yeah.
Grace was very
They should throw us a little compensation for this.
They really should. Grace was very worried when they took the trip to Italy on her senior year.
Why was she worried?
Well, she left her passport on the airplane.
Oh, no.
And she was with the coolest nun. Oh, God, I cannot remember this nun's name.
Can I guess? Wait, I don't know.
I don't want to describe her because then I feel like it will be... not good, but
okay,
very funny.
I won't say any names.
Very funny.
Okay.
The funniest one.
Was it Sister Bernadette?
No. But shorter, a little heavy. Lovely. And so they had to go to the police station in Rome to see if someone took it off the airplane. So Grace calls me and says, I might have to stay in Italy. And if we do, we're going to have to go stay in the convent. And
it's so
and I said,
funny.
Oh my God, I hope that happens.
Talk about an experience of a lifetime.
I said,
what other time are you going to have to stay in the convent? Like, sign me up.
I was like,
I mean, are you kidding? They're living large in there. Let's not.
This is look, if I don't find a man soon, this is plan B for me.
Sign me up. Put me in, coach.
If they could have mascara in the convent.
I don't know. I don't think I'd trade your Broadway lifestyle, though.
That's true. They
partying in the streets.
When they were vetting me anyway, they'd be like, ooh. We have photos from Broadway.
No, there was one sister, I don't know if I remember which one it was. Probably better. I could get in trouble for saying her name. I don't know.
Anyway, they were, I have nothing. I love the Dominicans.
Them. Well.
But she did feel like on that trip they were trying to recruit her.
Oh, God.
But I did say to her, look, hopefully they won't find your passport.
Honestly, that's a compliment. They think you're a very holy person if they're trying to recruit you.
But they found her passport because I said, look, how cool would it be to be in Italy and be able to stay, whether it's a convent or not, you're going to stay extra days.
Yeah.
And
it's probably really nice, too. I'm telling you. I mean, have you seen the Mother House in Nashville?
Yes.
So nice. They're living large in there.
Right. I don't know how we got back on.
It's awesome. I don't either. But I was going to say one of the sisters that, speaking of your Broadway pictures, you said they would find. Well, I don't think they would care because one sister told me that she quit smoking cigarettes in the driveway of the convent. Her first day in. I'm like, okay.
You can love Jesus and smoke a little.
I mean, you're looking at her. He doesn't care.
Did we I think we strayed from Barbie.
A little.
Hardy.
Oh, yes.
We strayed from Hardy because I am a fan. And he has really, he has been able to kind of maneuver this multi-genre transformation.
Yeah.
And that song, I was really bummed. I saw him at CMA Fest, and I was really bummed he didn't get to. I would love to scream that line. Tell that to 10,000
oh my gosh,
rednecks with my
dumb face on their T-shirts. I love that song.
Right,
I love.
And do fans? Because I haven't seen him do it in concert. I wanted him to do it that night, and he didn't.
Oh no.
Fans
people
go
love
nuts,
it. Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's a great song.
It is. It's awesome.
It's amazing.
My dad loves that song.
Yeah.
My dad's a big Hardy fan too.
Yeah. Well, I think he definitely skews a little more male, probably.
Yeah.
Especially with the metal stuff.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, I love Hardy. I mean, I look up to him a lot just because he's very like, and I don't know him super well. Like, we've gotten to meet a few times and like spend time around each other. Obviously, he's let me come and sing with him. Like, he's been really good to me. But like, I'm still getting to know him, and you can immediately tell from someone like him and his wife Callie that they're like really good people at their core. And like, you know how it is. That's gonna be so hard to find like in the music industry.
Yes.
And there's plenty of good people, but there's plenty of not good people, and they are like truly good people. And with someone with as much like success as he has, I just look up to him a lot, and I'm like, I want to be like that.
Is he bringing you on stage to sing one beer? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he's done it a couple of times. We've just been like, we've gotten to play a few of the same festivals, because at these festivals all summer, like, it's so much fun because there's so many different artists at all of them, and so he's brought me up to sing it if I'm there a couple
And
times.
on your Instagram, you were practicing throwing a beer
because
to
I
him.
messed it up the first time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Pressure.
Well, I didn't really. It was like, I remember we were at the show, and it was sort of like somewhat of a spontaneous thing. Like, I had a little bit of notice, like, do you want to come sing this? And of course I'm like, hell yeah. And before I was talking to his band leader, and he was like, all right, so the most important part of this is the beer throw. And he was like telling me when to do it and how to do it. And I'm like, oh gosh.
When do you do it? I don't remember that.
It's like right after the bridge. Or like, there's this one part of the song where like you both kind of.
That would cause me. Nothing causes me anxiety, but someone throwing something.
Well, no, listen, I have trauma from this prior to singing One Beer, and I think I told him this, but before this, when I was in college, during our baseball games, they would do beer showers. So like, when someone would hit a home run, everybody would throw their beer in the air. It was like a thing. In my first beer shower, I was like up in the stands, and somebody hit a home run, and all of a sudden everybody's throwing their beers, and I was like, oh gosh. And I was like kind of late, and I realized it, and like the people that were with me were like, throw your beer. And I had a full styrofoam cup, and I just like kind of half-assed it, like, because I got nervous, and it kind of came up all in one, like kept its form, and fell right on the guy in front of me, like a whole beer. There's a hair, sorry. And like, it just spilled all over him, and he was like not happy about it. So I have trauma from throwing beer. Fair. So when they're telling me like, all right, like, you're going to throw your beer at this point, I'm like, in front of 50,000 people, like, okay. And so I kind of panicked.
It's not open. It's closed.
It's like in a cup. Yeah. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, like, I'm going to redeem myself. And I didn't really. It was like fine, but we were singing, and then all of a sudden I looked, and he had already thrown his beer, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'm late. And so I just kind of threw it. But then I got to do it again.
I have to see this fully. I didn't understand. I have a video on Instagram, but because the couple.
Well, probably because
Instagram.
No.
Okay.
But then I got to. Luckily, he for some reason wanted to have me do it again one day. Luckily,
are you sure?
For whatever reason, asked me back. And so the next one, I was like, all right, I'm going to actually practice this time. And my band was like giving me pointers, and we took a video.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a good.
And then I feel like I did it right the next time, so that was good.
So sad. We're done. I mean, we got to wrap up. I feel like we could go on.
I know. Sorry, I'm such a blabbermouth.
Will you come back?
Yes, please.
What is your... All right. I mean, obviously, I'm never wrong.
Okay.
You're going to be a superstar.
Tell me. Oh, thank you.
You're going to...
Thank you.
You're going to accomplish your personal legend.
I hope so. Feel good
about it.
I want to be a vessel for the songs. Like, I'm in it for the songs, and I want the world to have them, and for them to make them feel a certain way, like music does for me, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
you're just a good soul.
Well, thank you.
I kind of love you.
Oh my God, I love you too.
What is your, let's go 1 year from now, I'd like to.
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question.
I know, I hate these.
It's so hard. I don't know. I mean, obviously I want to put out a ton more music, and that's happening really soon.
Oh, good.
Sooner than later. So that might happen before the next year. That's all I'll say. But I want to keep writing good songs and putting them out. And I don't know. I guess as far as shows, like, I would love to headline some shows eventually. I don't know how long that's going to take. I mean, you know how it is in this world. Like, it takes a long time to get there, but I would love to have my own show. Like, it's so much fun to play for other people's fans because they're just there and they're going to listen to you. Like, they're just going to be there. But, like, I want to play to my own fans, like to a crowd full of my own fans. I think that'd be so special. And, like, you can be so much more creative with the show and what songs you play. And I don't know when that will happen, but maybe sometime next year.
Well, I can't remember who came up with this. I think it was, but I call people on my show Fox, and people who listen, friends of Kelly.
Yeah. So. Not Kelly heads?
No. But you are a really cool Fox.
Thank you.
And a fun Fox.
I appreciate you.
Before we go.
I'm such a fan of you, too. I think you're the coolest.
Not really. Ask your
number
one Lauren head. She's like, well, she's okay.
Well, that's different.
She's okay.
That's different. She's your daughter.
We'll wrap it up with, because I'd love to, we're going to get you introducing Lauren Watkins. We're going to catch you at all stages of your career. Mm-hmm. So,
yes, I want to come back.
This is the Nashville truth. Okay. Let's start with your, let's end it with your Nashville truth at this stage of your career. Like, how would you encompass how you feel about where you are right now? What's your truth?
Oh, gosh, that's such a hard question. Can this be
cry,
like?
That'd be great.
Oh my God, I've cried so many times this week. I'm already cried out.
Okay, good. I don't want you to cry. We won't end it with tears.
I mean, if you would have told me that, I would have saved the crying for here. I have no problem crying on camera. Cry. Let's see. Well, okay. I'm going to say something like really cheesy. Okay. Just like, please bear with me.
I did personal legend with you. You already look like you're welling up, actually.
Oh, yeah. You
really are.
No, I'm not, I swear. My eyes are just bloodshot because I'm tired. Okay. So I guess like it's so funny how like things feel like, or things look like they're happening really fast, but really it's really, really slow behind the scenes. And it's like, to be really honest with you, I'm in a stage right now where like it is tough. Like I'm hustling and it's so much fun, but it is hard. Like, and then you kind of deal with like old friends or people that you don't get to see as much, like just not understanding and like not really knowing what your day to day is like and just kind of dealing with all that. And like, there's just hard stuff that comes with being an artist. And like, I can get really down about that and just be like pity party and complaining or whatever. And me and my manager, Melanie, who's also my best friend, we were at Watershed and we went on this hike and we were literally climbing this mountain like by accident. Like we accidentally went on this like very intense hike. We were like in Hoka's and New Balances. We were like, this wasn't not the correct shoe choice. But anyway, we're like climbing this mountain and we both kind of look at each other with like the same thought of like, this is going to be really cheesy, but we're both going to say it. And it was like we're having the hardest time climbing and we're like, oh my God, this is so hard. And we're hiking. And then we look up and we're like, wait, look where we are right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, these are mountains like I've never even seen before. And then we just like couldn't help but relate it to where we're both at in our careers of like, it is really hard day to day. Like, I'm tired and you got to do things you don't want to do. But then you look up and I'm like, I'm playing Watershed Festival. And next week I get to go play Atlantic City and like do all these festivals, like, and that's just something to be really, really thankful for. And who knows what life could look like in a year, you know? Yep. And so right now I'm just trying to like take everything one day at a time and like enjoy where I'm at. Like I'm having fun, you know? And so I just, that was a really long way to answer your question. But that's my Nashville truth right now in this moment.